I'm Zach.
And I'm Darcy.
We're an LDS couple who struggled with unwanted pornography in our marriage for many years. What was once our greatest struggle and something we thought would destroy us has become our greatest blessing and triumph.
Our hope is that as you listen to our podcast each week, you'll be filled with hope and healing and realize that you too can thrive beyond pornography and create the marriage you have always desired.
Welcome to Thrive Beyond Pornography.
We're so glad you're here and we believe in you.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Thrive Beyond Pornography. I'm your host, Zach Spafford. So this week on Tuesday, September 5th at 5 p.m., Dr. Jennifer Finlayson-Fife has invited Darcy and I to talk about the challenge of pornography in marriage on her Facebook Live. I'll put a link to that in the show notes for you to follow, but I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty excited to talk about this with Dr. Jennifer Finlayson-Fife because she's awesome, and I love having these conversations with her because I think that she brings a really great perspective, and I think if you come and watch this Facebook Live, you're going to get a lot of great information. You're going to get my perspective. You're going to get Darcy's perspective. You're going to get the perspective of a very amazing therapist who is of a very amazing coach. You're going to get the perspective of a very amazing coach who I think has put probably more effort into helping marriages than any other single coach out there. Feel free to put that on your calendar. Tuesday, September 5th at 7 p.m. Dr. Jennifer Finlayson-Fife, Darcy, and I, we're going to talk about porn on the internet. I know you guys are all excited about that. You're like, yeah, okay, well, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go listen to that because I think everybody likes to talk about porn on the internet. All right, maybe not you, but I know that Darcy and I do, partly because we love to help people. We love to do this work. So today I want to talk about the 5 keys to really committing to quitting porn. And this particular episode is kind of born out of the idea that you can do some things well, you can do some things occasionally, but when it comes to quitting porn, for most people who are struggling with it, commitment is the key. And so these are the 5 key things that you need to really commit to quitting porn. I'm just going to lay them all out there at first, and then we'll go through each of them one by one. So the first thing is don't mistake involvement for commitment. The second one is learn how to commit for yourself. The third is never give up. The fourth is free your mind. And the fifth is commit openly and honestly. So the first one, let's go back to that one. Don't mistake involvement for commitment. You've probably heard the saying, doing things halfway is the mother of everything that can go wrong. This rings especially true when it comes to quitting porn. Involvement is just the initial step. It's just not enough to do only involvement. It means that you're showing interest and you're taking some action, but where it falls short is at the level of commitment that's required for success. Think about going to maybe the meetings that you've gone to, but not doing the work. Think about learning the concepts, but not practicing them outside of game time situations. I talk about game time situations a lot here in the podcast. This is really about the practice that comes before game time situations. That's what it means to be committed. Commitment is about going all in, giving your absolute best effort, and making quitting porn a top priority in your life. It's about understanding that you can afford to just be involved if you want real change. So how do you give your best effort and go all in? You do that by creating a doable, practical schedule to do the work. This isn't about being a fanatic. A lot of people might think, well, I got to go to 6 meetings every week, and I got to make sure that I'm constantly involved in something going on with pornography. That is not it. What it is about is being actively engaged in creating new habitual ways of exercising the skills necessary to solve the problem. Just like you're not going to be a full-blown muscle mass by going to the gym hard for a month, solving porn is not about just going and doing the work hard for a month either. If you want to build muscle, you have to build a schedule of training that you can adhere to and do as regularly as possible. You know, those guys who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to commit to making this happen every single day for 4 hours a day. Most people aren't there when it comes to going to the gym. And when you think about your pornography struggle, you probably don't have 4 hours a day to put into dealing with pornography. But what you do have is you can be flexible. You can do the work more often than not, meaning even if you work on the problem for only a short amount of time each day, for 6 straight months, you're better off than if you work hard for 4 hours every day for a solid month. This is really about understanding the difference between being involved and being committed. Involvement is, oh, I did that for a while and I'll get back to it. Committed is, I take at least 5 minutes a day to do the work and practice a skill, even when I don't want to. Successful people around the world share 3 major components: curiosity, creativity, and commitment. While the first 2 are really crucial, commitment is the glue that holds them together and it drives them towards success. So you embarked on the journey to quit porn knowing that it wouldn't be easy. You're here because you know, hey, this isn't easy. I need some help. Somebody can give me some direction here. Challenges and temptations are going to rise out of your day-to-day, but it's your commitment that's going to carry you through. It's commitment to creating a habit that you can do outside of those temptations. When it's time to practice, you practice. When it's time to take 5 minutes and go, okay, how do I address what's going on in my brain in a habitual way, and practicing that habit, that's what commitment looks like. Remind yourself, why did you start this journey in the first place? What are your goals? What are your motivations? Keeping those in mind is going to help you maintain this commitment when the going gets tough. But being willing to do it every day for even a short period of time is a huge component here. Next is learn how to commit for yourself. Commitment begins with self-awareness. Take the time to understand your motivations, desires, and the reasons you actually want to quit. Reflect on the impact of pornography in your life, the relationships that are in your life that are being impacted by pornography, your own personal well-being. Why is it that you want to quit porn? Identifying the pain points that can fuel this commitment. Commitment becomes more tangible when you set clear personal goals. Who do you want to be by quitting porn? Define your objective values so that you can start moving toward them. For example, you might have a value of not wanting to rely on external validation from people you don't really know to manage your discomfort. That's really what it is that you're doing when you choose porn. You're going externally to someone who doesn't know you and you don't know them, and they're giving you this unfettered validation of how awesome you are so you can feel aroused. And you may not want that in your life anymore. That might be the reason that you set down as, okay, this is a value I want to move towards. Or you might have a value of addressing your discomfort directly. You might have a value of self-validation rather than external validation. Whatever your values are, define them, say them out loud, write them down, and really create an understanding of what these are. Ensure your values are specific, make sure they're attainable, make sure they're relevant. This kind of clarity is going to help you stay focused. Commitment isn't about perfection. It's not. You're not going to be perfect. Understanding that is going to help you understand that when setbacks happen, they don't derail you. They don't define your commitment. They don't push you off the platform. They help you see yourself. Practice self-compassion in this process by forgiving yourself for slip-ups, focusing on progress rather than perfection. So often I talk about, what's your batting average? If you're viewing pornography 30 minutes a week and you drop that down to 20 minutes a week, your batting average has gone up and you've reduced your porn viewing by a third. That's great. That's amazing. Celebrate that. Don't be somebody who's beating yourself up for not being perfect. This is about you doing something for yourself. And when you beat yourself up because you're not achieving some measure that you think other people want you to have, then you're going to have a hard time succeeding. This has to be about you, about what you want and who you want to be. This cannot be about someone else. If the reason you're quitting porn is that someone else says you need to, or for the comfort of someone else, meaning your spouse, it's really unlikely to be sufficient for you to actually make the real commitments you need to in order to succeed. The next is never give up. I know that you're probably in this path and you're like, man, this is so hard. I get it. The path to overcoming pornography is rarely linear. You're likely to encounter lapses or moments of weakness along the way. Remember that setbacks are a natural part of the process. Instead of seeing a setback as a failure, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Every step, even one that is backwards, can contribute to your overall progress. In fact, when you take a step backwards, that's a learning moment. That's an opportunity for you to analyze and address rather than run and hide. This is about learning and growing, not immediate or irreversible change. I think too many of us think, hey, all of a sudden I'm going to commit and all of a sudden everything's going to be perfect and I'm going to move forward and never move backward. It's not how it usually works. That's not most people's journey. There may be times when the weight of the journey feels overwhelming. During these moments, don't hesitate to seek out support from your trusted friends, maybe a family member who's gone through this process, maybe a coach who actually knows what it's like to solve this problem. You can even join the Thrive Beyond Pornography membership at any time, and it's a lifetime membership. So you can get the help that you need whenever you need it. Sharing your struggles with others and seeking guidance can provide valuable insight and encouragement to help you stay on course. Cultivate and maintain a growth mindset in this process. That's going to see your challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. That's a way to never give up. And that's a way to stay committed. And if you embrace the belief that with effort and persistence and the right strategies that you can change and improve your life, then you're going to start to succeed. Next one is to free your mind. This means that you have to be flexible enough to see what you're doing may not be working and be willing to try something else. How many times have you said, no, I just got to keep doing this thing. I just got to keep going to the meetings. I know when I was struggling to quit porn, I would tell my wife, yeah, I just got to keep going to the meetings. I got to go keep meeting with my church leaders. I got to go do all these things that I had been doing, but that hadn't been working. Nothing had been changing. And when that's going on, when you've seen that, okay, this really isn't changing anything, becoming and being flexible allows you to seek out more and more valuable strategies. The more flexible you can be, the more likely you'll be to find strategies that work and skills that work. In order to never give up, you'll probably have to see the problem differently and be prepared to approach it in new and sometimes difficult ways in order to learn what you need to achieve your end result. To do that, you've got to free your mind. Freeing your mind allows you the flexibility to set aside preconceived ideas of what is supposed to happen and start dealing with the problems that are directly in front of you. To do that, freeing your mind allows you the flexibility to set aside preconceived ideas of what is supposed to happen and start dealing with the problems that are right directly in front of you, the actual issues, instead of the ones that you think you're supposed to be dealing with, or instead of trying to please other people, or instead of all the other things that you've been told should work but aren't working. By being committed, knowing that you're never going to give up and doing it for yourself, you'll start to free your mind of all that chatter that your brain's going to offer you that keeps you from getting you where you want to go. How many times has your brain said, oh, it's going to be too hard? Stuff like that. Think of all the things your brain says think of all the things your brain says to you when it wants to take the easy path rather than the hard one. Those can fall by the wayside when you maintain flexibility, commitment, and you keep going. Okay, lastly, and I think this is a really important one. This is actually probably one of my favorites because it's a really important point, a really important conversation to be having with people. And that is commit openly and honestly. Committing openly means sharing your goals and challenges with someone you trust, whether that's a friend, a family member, a coach, whoever it is. And again, I wouldn't say everybody is worthy of this trust. Sometimes the people that are closest to us can't handle this conversation. So just be careful, be clear, be willing to not tell the people that are having a trouble handling it, maybe just being as light as possible with them, but going to somebody who can handle it, who's willing to work with you, who's willing to encourage you in the process. I like to call these people vulnerability partners. They can provide encouragement. They can help you hold yourself responsible. And they can also offer valuable insights that you might not see on your own. Pornography struggles often thrive in secrecy and shame. Committing to openly and honestly have these conversations breaks down barriers that keep you from being the person that you want to be. And by sharing your struggle with others, you begin to dismantle that isolation that you probably feel, and that often helps perpetuate the struggle. All right, my friends, I hope this has been helpful. To be honest, this is probably one of the things that every single person should review on a regular basis, just to get an idea of, okay, what am I doing? What else could I be doing to help myself get past pornography? And if you really can start to implement these 5 keys to really committing to quitting porn, right? Like, don't make the mistake of just being involved, be really committed, learn how to commit for yourself, don't give up, free your mind, and openly and honestly communicate your commitment, you're going to actually succeed in this process. And don't forget, on Tuesday, September 5th at 7 p.m., Dr. Jennifer Finlayson Fife, Darcy, and I are going to be chatting on a Facebook Live called The Challenge of Pornography and Marriage. I hope you come. I'm going to put, a link for you in the show notes. Have a great week, and I will talk to you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to Thrive Beyond Pornography. If you're seeking guidance and support to overcome pornography for good and begin creating a thriving life beyond it, check out my free webinar, How to Overcome Pornography with Skills That Actually Work. You'll learn practical, proven skills guided by an expert coach who has personally overcome pornography. Whether you're getting started for just yourself or along with your spouse, Darcy and I can teach you the tools that will help you put your life on the right path for you. Be sure to check out the show notes for a direct link, and if you could take a moment to leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts, it would mean the world to us. Your reviews play a significant role in helping others discover the show so they can join us on this transformative journey. Thank you for being part of the Thrive Beyond Pornography community. Until our next episode, stay strong, stay focused, and keep thriving.